Oh yeah, I hung around here since probably I was 14, and basically I just met a lot of people up here and just started hanging around with the same crew and getting into the same shit. But I think the main thing with kids that hang around here is they need jobs, and once they have jobs they need things to do after work because they're bored. They're used to taking drugs all the time and filling their time up with drugs. Like me, I didn't get brought up with like my mum looked after me and stuff like that, but she was an alcoholic and she had her own problems and she couldn't look after us as much as a normal mother would. So basically we moved out, and that's when I got help off yachts, and Salvo's helped me out heaps too with accommodation and food and all that sort of stuff. But the worst thing is while I was getting this help, I met all these young people who were doing all this stuff. They introduced me to all these different things, and then once you sort of get introduced to it, and if you enjoy it, you keep doing it, Like, we all depend on each other, but it's bad because we're all in the same habits.
Yeah.
So when we do try to help each other, we end up getting smashed or drunk or this or that because we feel like there's nothing else to do.
Yeah.
I got brought up at Liverpool sort of area. My mum was sort of alcoholic and I never knew my dad sort of. We were in foster care a lot, in and out of foster care. And then when that all sort of came to an end, my mum got put in rehab for a year up at Katoomba. We moved out of home and I moved in with my 15-year-old sister, and I was only 13. And then we moved into our own little apartment, and as you do when you're 15 and 13, you go a bit wild and crazy and you have all your friends over, and then we just started sort of partying, drinking and drugging and stuff like that. Started hanging around all the wrong sort of people and sort of started smoking pot and stuff like that, and then started getting on the heavier sort of drugs, heroin and stuff like that. And I was always one of those people that said, I've never, ever, ever used heroin, or never, ever, 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 ever. And I don't know, it sort of just happened one day. Everyone was using it and stuff, and it's like that whole thing where it just becomes acceptable. And like I was hanging around that sort of group, so it was acceptable. So then I started shooting it, and probably for about 1 year, I just was full out on it, full on. I had nothing in my life. I had no accommodation. I had no friends. Like, I don't know what I was thinking. I had no morals. I had no self-respect. I had nothing. I was the lowest. I was just, down in the dumps. So when I sort of got locked up at Yasma, that was a big wake-up call for me. I was so scared. I was this little 18-year-old stuck in this jail cell with all these older women, and I just knew I had to pick up my act. And I had so many people in my ear telling me, you're not doing well, look at you, you're so much better than this. And it just sort of stuck in my head after a while that I was better than that and that I needed to do something about it. And that's when I sort of went to rehab and stuff, and then that was it. Once I got out of rehab, I just had this headstrong, thing that I'm not going back there, no way. No, I just remember so well, like it's so clear to me, just laying on the couch being sick and vulnerable, and just the way I felt. Like I'd never want to feel that way again. I'd rather have some disease or something like it. I'd rather anything than that feeling ever again, and I'll never go through that feeling ever again. I started just getting little goals, and I started achieving things which made me really, really happy, because it just gave me such a lift. And once I sort of got a few lifts and stuff, I just wanted more and more and more, and I just wanted to do more and more better for myself, I was the first person in my family out of 3 generations to get my agency, so that was a huge step. And then from there, it was keeping stable accommodation. Definitely, that's the main thing, is keeping a stable accommodation and not bringing your bad life into your stable, your stable housing. Like not bringing all your druggo friends and that to your house, because your house will just become that druggo place. Getting a job, having a job and keeping a job was the next best thing, definitely, because that kept me out of trouble for 9-10 hours of a day. Just every little step from there just got easier. I guess it became a routine, and it became normal to me to start doing well. Like even now, it's hard to think of me back then. Like, I know I was like that, and I still have a little bit of that in me, but it's, you know, it's nothing to worry about because I'm so much a bigger part of me is willing to do good. Drugs has never been a problem for me now because that's what stuffed me up the most was drugs. Like, drugs were definitely, I love drugs. So drugs, if they pull drugs out and that's it, I can usually sit there and go, oh no, I'm right, I'm fine. Most of the time I will go, all right, it's time for me to go, I've got to go home or something like that. I do get a bit edgy, but that's why I usually leave because I know that, you know, it's time to go. You still have that little bit of instinct in you, should I, shouldn't I? As soon as you think, should I or shouldn't I, it's time to go, definitely. I know that my mum blames a lot of what I've done on herself because she did it when we were kids, so she thinks that we done it because she did it. So the big thing was to, you know, to show my mum that we're not going to be like her. You know, we can make something out of ourselves. Our family, as it goes on, it's going to get better and better. It's not going to get worse. Our whole family's not going to be drug addicts and stuff. Like, my kids will be someone and be, you know, and their kids will be someone, and then sooner or later my whole family will be, you know, not drug addicts. Like, all my family are drug addicts and alcoholics now. And soon, my kids, they won't even know about it soon, you know. That's my main thing, is my kids. Yeah, that's my one motivation. That's always been my motivation, is to provide my kids with a great life. Yeah, my mum had her first kid when she was 17, and then my sisters both had kids when they were 18 years old, and when my first sister had her first child, they all thought that I was going to have a kid by the time I was 16, and I'm still sitting here at 22 without a kid, and they've always said that I was going to be the next one, and I'm still sitting here without any kids because I believe I don't want kids until I'm a bit older and a bit more further ahead in life. When I'm older, I want to help a lot of kids. I want to help heaps of kids. Like, you know, even though they probably won't listen to me then because that's what people used to say to me. I was where you were, and I'd just go, yeah, whatever. You know, like, yeah. So I'll probably just be one of those persons they never listen to, but I always give the advice. But yeah, I definitely want to do something when I'm older to help kids. Definitely. Because I'm more worried about the bigger picture in the world than the picture now sort of thing, you know. Like, if kids keep having these kids, everyone's going to be drug addicts and not giving a crap, and, you know, the world's just going to be a bloody drop-in centre, you know. Yeah, like, I'm glad I lived the life that I lived, but I'm not because, you know, like, obviously life could have been better for me if I didn't go through that sort of childhood and stuff, and I could be a lot further ahead where I am today, but I'm glad because I know so much more than most. You know, a day goes by where I just don't sit back and laugh at, like, where I've been and what I've done and stuff, and yeah, I really do. I sit back and I just think about it, and I just smile because, I don't know why I smile, it's just like, oh, I've been there and I've done that, and I smile because I know what's yet to come now. I'm not back there, I'm not looking at, oh, I've got to get here because I'm already here now. Now I'm looking at bigger things like buying a house. That's like a huge step, you know, like I'm only 22 and I'm already thinking about that, so it's good because I smile because I got out of there a lot quicker than what I thought I would have, which is really good. Definitely.